It's 4 degrees outside. You're freezing. There's snow everywhere. There's only one thing left to do. Draft enough that the heat enters your entire body. We're joined today by a special guest. Who is it? I don't know. You'll have to stay around and figure out. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right, we are recruiting heavily into the fantasy football trenches. You know, it's no fun to just have to sit around and draft by yourself all day. So as soon as Pete figures out his camera, you know, Pete, he started Best Ball Breakfast this morning. They made him draft against his will. We kept him deep on ADP chasing. If you missed ADP chasing, if you're watching on a replay, I would encourage you to go check it out. But as soon as Pete gets his camera figured out, we are gonna be hopping in the big board. GM to Bindles. Draft a 13 running back Taysom Hill team. Draft a 13 running back Taysom Hill team. Interesting. You're never alone with the peanut gallery, Davis. That is true. You know what? That is very true. Yeah, Nick, you're on to me. Absolutely classic to squeeze the extra Pete returning EV. I believe he needs to take a couple minutes for himself. So he'll be here in a second. How full is the war room? Yes, if you want to get in the war room, it is about all the way filled up. It is, I just entered in all of mine, 81.9% full for the war room. Let's do an exposure check before we get in. Let's just kind of see where we're at. Drafts completed. Let's go to all contests. So this is where, although it's not showing all, okay, 76. So exposures have changed just a little bit. I gotta pull up the right window. So LaQuint Allen Jr. is my number one most drafted player. I honestly feel quite good about that. We've got Jackson Dart as my most drafted quarterback, 30.3%. Gunnar Helm is my most drafted tight end. I mean, that is classic. Just most drafted running back as a rookie, most drafted quarterback as a rookie, most drafted tight end as a rookie, most drafted wide receiver, not a rookie, but instead one Mr. Xavier Worthy. Yes, coolers. This is it's exactly what I had to do. I did have to just register for 3 War Room slows to avoid missing out. Joey is asking, will you be playing the dance or little dance? The answer to that is yes, Joey. And in fact, tomorrow morning on the channel, there will be a video for people who are YouTube members. So if you click the join button, it's $4.99 a month to become a member of the channel. You get Discord access. There's going to be a members only video where I am joined by Nez from the Badge Brothers to do NBA playoff best ball strategy. So we're going to do a dance draft. We are going to talk strategy. We are going to talk ranking. So if you were looking at getting in the NBA playoff best ball streets, we'll be doing that. Who else do I have on my exposure sheet here? So we have Fields. I think that's pretty on brand. We got Kendre, who I am actively trying to prune. I think like 18, 19, 20% on Kendre feels a little bit more appropriate. Dontavian Wicks. I mean, look at the Packers depth chart, man. The Packers depth chart. Where are you finding a way for Dontavian Wicks to not play this season? Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, then Christian Watson's out. The other guys they have on their roster, Bo Melton, Malik Heath, Cornelius Johnson. So they're probably going to draft one guy. It's really quite a terrible free agent class. I feel like we are locked into Dontavian Wicks, at least being in the role that he was in last season. All right, here we go. Here's the man. How we doing, buddy? How did your war room experience go for you? Like, or your big board experience? Were you just like, what am I doing? This is insane. Why am I doing this? Was it pleasant?
Well, first of all, let me just say, hopping on as I hear you talking about Dontavian Wicks, I was just like, all is right in the world.
You just get thrown back. You just got tossed back into
Yeah.
a simpler time.
It really does have that like whiplash effect, like doing best ball breakfast and like starting to say the cliches that we say. I'm like, God. And then doing the math. I'm being like, Davis, we have, and I know you're well aware, we have 6.5 months of this. I would say pace ourselves, but you are absolutely not pacing yourself.
Not enough time. Not enough time, man. If we could actually do more drafting, fewer real football games, that would actually maybe be best for me. If somehow we could actually just about a month of football. So we do, kind of just like a, maybe like a World Cup, round robin style tournament. That would actually, if we could have somehow 11 months for drafting, I think that would fit. That would fit better.
Yeah. I mean, so what are you at? How many drafts are you at? Big board drafts now?
We are about to do, whenever we get in, this will be my 52nd big board. So,
wow, over 1/3.
So I tell everyone who's sitting in the lobby, everyone who's here watching, I say, you don't have to draft well, but you do have to draft quickly. So we get in the draft, and I don't lollygag making my picks either. I click them. No, if I'm lollygagging, I lollygag before and after I make the pick. But when it's on, it's on. And Pete, you haven't been on in a while. You're gonna get to experience something new here.
Wow. I mean, if there's any way to pander to the audience and tug at the heartstrings, what is the implication of that drive? People, it doesn't even say, there's no call to action. They're just supposed to feel sorry for you.
No, that's the we're doing another draft right now because we got to feed the dog. The only way to feed the dog is to keep drafting until we win. That's the implication. So let's see how friends and family we are here. We have Mr. Dumalino, that's friends and family. Coolers, friends and family. WD Sim 12 family. T Bear, Jake, Clay Dog, Jake Twitch. Okay, guys, this draft should not take any longer than 30 minutes. I'm just being honest. This is all friends. Unless we get the one lone auto drafter. We could have one lone auto drafter, which could ruin it.
What is it? Have you timed? What's your fastest big board draft?
We've definitely done one in under 35 minutes. We've definitely done a 20-round draft in under 35 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I will say the people were cooking on my stream. I had heard the horror stories of 1 hour drafts. I feel like mine were around the 40 to 45 minute range. I could not complain about that time.
No, it is completely intolerable when there's one lone auto drafter. Do you have a preference between BTJ or neighbors? I don't really care. I just take whoever's there.
I think my take is that BT is just slightly overvalued, but maybe I need to rethink this after the Evan Ingram revelation to me that I learned about today.
The thing is I never get Ashton Genty, who, and we're gonna take grown ass man AJ Brown. I never get Ashton Genty in these because everyone knows I love Ashton Genty. So like somehow I'm going to end up with like 5% of Ashton Genty despite having him ranked ahead of ADP because everyone who watches these is also a slappy. And so they're like, oh man, we got to draft Ashton Genty.
And let me just be clear because things have been happening so fast. Just to be clear, I am just here for the peanut gallery. I'm not actually making any picks. We're not drafting together.
No, we are drafting together, but who did you wanted Drake London over AJ Brown?
No, I mean, I would like a conversation. Like, I appreciate the drafting fast element, but I do think as the one providing entertainment via the stream, you are allowed more than 1.5 seconds to discuss with your guests the selection.
Wrong.
Otherwise, Davis, I will go fill my time with plenty of other more enjoyable things right now.
Well, here, I will ask you one strategy question. I think the wide receivers are clearly better picks until you get to Ladd McConkey and Tyreek Hill. But Are you worried, Pete? Aren't you worried about running back last year's disaster class of just watching Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, these men just ruin your hopes and dreams?
Definitely worried about it, but I feel like the reason why they crushed us is because they were priced very cheaply relative to their volume projections, and we all waived it. But now I think you could argue that they are priced more efficiently.
I was going to say, it's like Derrick Henry, a 31-year-old running back at the 1-2 turn, which he went a little bit later in this draft because we got some slappies in here. All right. Talking about a real Sophie's choice. We have Xavier Worthy, Chase Brown, right here in the queue. That's by my rankings. By ADP, it's Josh Allen, Chase Brown. What do you think? Do you want a running back, or are you?
Let's do Chase Brown and get you diversify between your two loves. You said Xavier Worthy is your most drafted.
Yeah, I actually don't really like Chase Brown this year. I'm actually quite worried he's one of the guys who is like very likely to get replaced, because it's not like he was particularly good. He just got the ball a lot.
Yeah, but like he's going in the same range where we were kind of taking Kyron last year and kind of acknowledging the risk of like, yeah, this could go really bad. But the scenarios where the current state just remains, like it's a smash. And I do agree where I'm like, yeah, things could go bad for Chase Brown, but like, man, it could also be awesome again.
This is pretty big ADP value on Lamar, and maybe no chance Flowers comes around. What do you think?
You said you haven't been doing many elite quarterback builds. Let's do Lamar.
Okay. People are going to love this. This is the number one feedback that I've been getting is they're like, dude, you not taking elite quarterbacks this year is going to be the same thing as fading all the high scoring players last year. Every good player that you didn't take last year, it's the same thing. I think, honestly, the chances of elite quarterbacks burying are so low. Like, just so it's like Josh Allen has to have his 45-point week, not in week 15, not in week 16, has to have it in week 17. And even then, you still might not have the winner.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with you because I'm generally not on the elite QB guy spectrum either. But I think you can also look at it in different ways, right? Like you can have the MVP season from Lamar Jackson where you just have a really good advance rate. And then it also frees up your roster spot. If you only want to go two quarterbacks, you can use that dart somewhere else. So you don't have to take Jackson dart in every draft. So I think there's some other ancillary benefits. And we've seen this in BR too, right, Davis? Like sometimes just taking the elite quarterback in round one helps you avoid other landmines that are always going in that range, which is a weird way to build a pro case for a guy being like, well, he's not this other guy. But like, I think the diversity of teams and building out different textures in general is just smart and avoids you. Like if Xavier Worthy, again, earmuffs, like tears his ACL in August, like you're going to wish you went some other directions in this range of the draft.
Just taking 8% of every player. And if I lose, it's no one, I can't blame me if I lose. It simply would be the universe conspiring against me. I played good and just got unlucky. Where do you stand on Terry McLaurin as a second round pick?
I think it's overpriced. And someone was in my chat trying to tattletale on you saying like Davis thinks Xavier Worthy is more talented than Terry McLaurin. I was like, I think Xavier Worthy.
He's like, it's like obviously more talented than Terry McLaurin.
I mean, the Terry McLaurin stuff feels like really rich. He feels to me like the volume based running back selection, where yes, it could break right, but there's also ways it could go wrong.
All right. So we're at a crossroads here. We can kind of tack on the last of a tier at wide receiver, or we can jump on a rookie running back.
I'm down for a rookie. I don't know. Sutton and Godwin isn't necessarily making it move for me. Unless you think we get boxed out. No, we might.
Well, this is a relatively piss boys draft, so we'll see. I took Caleb Johnson over Amari and Hampton. I kind of trying to get ahead of it there. I think Caleb Johnson's going to be a first round pick. Yes, Cortland Sutton is a Gabe Davis ass pick, 100 billion million %, an eliminator ass pick.
Yeah,
and we're going to get Godwin anyway here, I think. Oh, actually, no, Jake's about to take him, so Maybe we take Judy.
I took Judy on my first draft this morning.
I actually don't hate Jaden Reed here. We could take Laporta. Laporta could be fun, actually.
I'm always on board with the tight
No,
end.
no, actually, no, we don't take Laporta because the room is going to give us Mark Andrews, because don't you know Mark Andrews is going to get cut? Last year's 4 or 5 Lamar Andrews turn is going to become it's 3rd round Lamar, but 8th round Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Is that really why he's dropping?
Yes.
It's like because of that 2-point conversion.
What other logic could there be after he finally, like, Mark Andrews actually had a great season last year. He was just a good player, scored a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah. He started a little slow and then really came on.
Yeah, Liam was reminding everyone that he told, it's like, hey, remember, I told a lot of people I was off Mark Andrews because he had the tightrope surgery, and then it turns out he was. Yeah, Mark Andrews is the only thing I could see happening with Mark Andrews is that potentially he gets restructured. That's about it. I really
if a Raven is getting cut, he's an opera singer who maybe likes massages a little too much.
Correct. Yeah. I'm with you on the reason why I ask is, last year, famously, a worst second round of all time. It's terrible. It's awful. And I think the second round this year is phenomenal. And then Terry McLaurin sticks out like a sore thumb to me, of like a guy who just doesn't really earn volume in the NFL. Like, I don't know, just wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Olave just like easily outscores Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. And I think it's a testament, like McLaurin had the explosive plays this year with Jane Daniels and through the playoffs. Like that's what you're buying, which is, you're buying an explosive player with an explosive offense. I get that. But we also saw De'Ami Brown become a huge part of the offense. Zach Ertz become a big part of the offense. We saw, crowd, like this was like a spread the wealth offense. And if you don't have the explosive play where he takes the like 10-yard pass to the house, like did against the Lions and stuff, all of a sudden you don't have the volume to hang your hat on. I'm willing to take those kind of guys in the 4th and 5th round. I think taking those guys who are explosive play dependent in the 2nd round can start to put you into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, McLaurin's stat line, literally the same he's had every year. He just scored and maybe he scored a bunch of touchdowns because his quarterback is great. But so this is we did kind of get boxed out a wide receiver. We could just take Andrews here and hope to. Except one of the guys between us has a tight end. I don't know. We're kind of in a tough spot.
Let's just lock up Andrews. I mean, there's not that many good backstacking stuff with Lamar.
Bateman, yeah. But even Bateman, it's like, I don't know, Bateman. I don't know if Bateman ever develops a high enough target role to like really smash in this format. Yeah, I mean, really, the Ravens could get better on offense by just not fumbling in the playoffs. That's really it. Yeah. Okay.
Man, your drafters fucking rip, man.
Golden went. Do you want Downs or Shaheed? Or I guess
just completely ignoring Jacoby Myers, huh? I took Downs this morning. I like Downs.
I mean, Jacoby Myers, bro.
Are those your own ranks and the sidekick are saying Jacoby Myers?
My rankings are a public-facing product. They are meant to be something that you can actually draft off of. They're meant to be somewhat market-based. It would be irresponsible of me to completely nuke Jacoby Myers for something that I am selling. It would also
be irresponsible of you to never draft Jacoby Myers.
Well, Peter, what is better? Irresponsibility that goes to myself or irresponsibility that goes to a consumer?
Do you dead ass have 0% Jacoby Myers right now?
Let me look. I bet I don't have 0.
What's wrong? Like, I get it. Like, he's not a sexy pick. I understand that. But why the haterade? The full blown X him out.
That feels like one of the most influx teams in the NFL. Whole new coaching staff. Certainly their quarterback for the upcoming season is not on the roster. It could be Russell Wilson, could be Sam Darnold, could be Tyrod Taylor, could be literally could be Jackson Dart. Who knows? But the one thing you do know, they've got the alpha. So they have their 28% target share guy on the roster. So you are I mean, Peter, he's a dead zone running back at wide receiver is what he is.
The counterpoint would be Jacoby Myers is a good football player. He's been good in a lot of poor situations. And then alongside Brock Bowers, who's the greatest tight end we've ever seen, he was routinely on par with him in targets. Had some games where he outproduced him. I think it's just like you know what you're getting with him, and he's really, really unlikely to burn you or be a landmine at that cost.
Okay, valid. I will reconsider. Mims would be my preference. Do you have a preference of these dust running backs? Swift,
Robinson? I can't touch Pacheco. I'm out of my depth with some of these ones here. I mean, like Dobbins is kind of interesting.
Well, actually, you know what? We have to take Bateman over Mims because we have Lamar. Got to do that. You just got to trend towards the stack there. If you're looking at volatile high A wide receivers, you got to trend towards the stack. And I actually do agree with this. I think Jacoby is probably a pretty good player, but I mean, I think Josh Downs, I don't know. I did look, by the way, I don't have Stone Zero. I do not have Stone Zero I don't have very much, and I'm legally not required to say how much, but I do not have Stone Zero. This feels like an eliminator ass pick, but what do you think? We've got 1-2-5-1. Yeah, our second quarterback is not really.
Yeah, this feels like we need a running back, and I do not want to take Pacheco. I don't.
No, we're gonna take Brian Robinson Jr. Serious question: why is Mims where he is and Kevontae Turpin is undrafted? Kevontae Turpin weighs 160 pounds. Marvin Mims was 9th in the NFL in yards per route run last season and scored 38 points in week 17.
One of the youngest year 2 wide receivers too. I mean, I think Marvin Mims is good and Sean Payton is a donk with his usage, and we finally saw what it starts to look like when it comes together. I feel like a more interesting conversation is the spread on Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin.
Yes, that is too wide. Mostly because I think they are going to spend most of their offseason moves trying to add a tight end and reconfigure the running back room. I think they're probably just going to run back a very similar group of wide receivers. And if Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims can't beat out Lil Jordan Humphrey and Brandon Johnson and Devon Vele, then it was never going to happen. I think Anthony Richardson will just start for the Colts. He's a cost-controlled first-round rookie quarterback. I mean, they're going to bring in a competitor for him. Pete, my thinking the whole offseason is they should draft Jalen Milroe in the 3rd round, and they should sign Justin Fields, and they should have the old fantasy douche quarterback on hair on fire quarterback room, and just be like, well, whichever one works. You know,
yeah,
we don't care which one it is.
I mean, are the Steelers kind of like, I mean, they didn't even go full bore with it, but are they kind of like the closest to even have done that this year? It's just like, let's just accumulate as many, cheap cracks at a quarterback, and they're completely different stylistically. And they essentially both worked for times. I mean, Fields got benched after winning a bunch of games. You cannot wait to take Dalton Kincaid. I can tell.
No, I think the move here is to do the double tap Dak Prescott, Jake Ferguson.
Okay.
We don't really have another great stack set up unless we want to take Richardson, but I'm trying to cool off of Richardson because I've been drafting a lot of him. Richardson and Fields have a great chance to dust me if they just easily get benched as they're terrible.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter. This feels appropriate-ish for Travis Hunter.
What's the pick number? It's small on my screen.
131.
Which is behind ADP, right?
Yeah, pretty well behind ADP. I'm gonna take Ferguson. Yeah, that's Travis Hunter behind Xavier Leggett, Romeo Doubs, and Trey Harris. But ahead of Quentin Johnston. I mean, that feels about right. I don't know. It's so impossible to know. How could you even know? you wouldn't really.
He feels like the perfect example of like just drafting it's not even an exposure blanket. It's just at market with him where you're just like, I don't want to get out over my skis on him. I don't want to be underexposed to him. Like the range of outcomes is so wide. I'm just going to take him when he falls at ADP. When he falls into my lap, I'm not going to nah wave him, but I'm not going to be like chasing him up. But I do think
how much do you care about ADP in this contest?
Well, I think you care about ADP to an extent that it's more just like you don't want to be overweight guys who have a potential to be 0. You know? Like that's probably how I think about it. Whereas once we get to Best Ball Mania, like we know that ADP in this range of the draft does not matter. It is not a predictor of fantasy points.
First time pissing, huh, Jake? First time pissing.
First time here, brother.
I have to admit, I was a little bit stunned at pick 63 when Jaden Reed was the best available wide receiver. I have to admit, I think this is true. I mean, I'm well on record that Joe Burrow is being hilariously overdrafted, but
it does go to show you it's like the QB version of the Waddle, Higgins, Devontae Smith swinging, like Stroud and Burrow going right next to each other, and now Burrow's going 70 picks, 80 picks ahead of Stroud.
Yeah, like 100 picks. Yeah, quarterback 5 versus quarterback 17. Mahomes' price is finally fixing itself.
I took him at pick 80 in my first draft, and I was like, okay, I'll do that.
All right, we could take the themed boy Jordan Whittington, Restrepo. I probably need to move down a little bit.
I know nothing about Restrepo. How many quarterbacks do we have right now?
2.
So we're good.
Let's take Rico Dowdle. We actually need a running back more.
So what's the hope on? I mean, Rico, you're trying to. I mean, how is it going to get better for Rico than it did last year with the Cowboys? I mean, is he resigning?
Well, it won't. But you just say he ends up being the 3rd best free agent running back in this class, or Aaron Jones signs with Minnesota. He's the 2nd best free agent running back in this class. Some teams decide they'd rather bring him in than roll the dice on a day 3 rookie, and he gets, he's a running back 2 somewhere good. He's the Chargers running back 2 or whatever. This is an annoying spot.
We filter off quarterbacks.
Yeah. By ADP, it's Jalen Coker. Whittington, I think it could be okay here. Thielen could be okay.
Yeah, do we want to get this tight end going to get away from us if we don't take like a Hunter Henry?
We got Mark Andrews and Jake Ferguson.
Oh, duh. Sorry, I forgot about the Ferguson.
Yeah, no. We're gonna take Whittington. We're gonna take Whittington. I have not taken him in weeks. I think Pacheco probably becomes a value right about here. I think the Cam Scattaboo Tank Bigsby line. I think that's right about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did he go in this?
Like 125. So that's like after Devin Neal, after Brian Robinson Jr. Now, granted, running backs are going a little bit later in this because it's all piss boys anyway. But he's a reasonable selection there, I think.
Yeah.
So we have got, for the audio listeners, Lamar and Dak, Chase Brown, Caleb Johnson, Brian Robinson Jr., Rico Dowdle, Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, Rashad Bateman, Jordan Whittington, Mark Andrews, Jake Ferguson. So we could stop at both 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends. My gut inclination is to not do that. We also maybe should have just taken Anthony Richardson with that last selection. Man, Gritty, he could just be printing money taking Justin Fields and Anthony Richardson. He could get his elite quarterbacks in the 12th, 13th round. I wonder if he's doing that this year. He probably isn't, but he could be. He could adjust his elite quarterback strategy.
I feel like the screenshots I've seen from Gritty, he's really balancing his range this year. I mean, he'll still go all in on one specific concept in a draft, but I've seen lots of different concepts from him.
Good for him, man. We all have to learn. We all we all took away different things from the apocalypse of 2024. What I took away is just don't blame me when my teams are bad. Blame everyone else.
I feel, didn't you take some ownership? You took some ownership.
I mean, I vacillated, obviously. The thing is there actually would have been no way for me to win, even if the Chiefs didn't all die, because there was nothing that was getting me to taking Barkley and Henry. Just was not happening. All right. We could take a third quarterback here. We could hope that Sam Darnold ends up quarterback of the Colts. We could take Shadur. Jaden Higgins is one of my favorite. Actually, probably him and Royals. I really like. You got any leans here?
I wouldn't mind getting my first Shadur Sanders click. You were getting me hyped on him on ADP chasing earlier.
Done. Shadur, Lamar, Dak, and Shadur. There we go. I don't think Shadur is quote unquote good, but I do think he just is going to be he's gonna be perfectly cromulent, Peter. He's gonna be a cromulent National Football League
which is worth something. That is a valuable commodity at the quarterback position.
Yeah. All right. Well, so the problem with this range is like all these running backs are like just the biggest dart throws of all time.
Yeah.
Do you like Eckler?
I actually took him this morning. I mean, I kind of do. I mean, do we want to handcuck?
Oh yeah. Well, they might not be on the same team. You never know. What about Javonte? Goods has been trying to sell me on Javonte and actually being the second most prized free agent running back this year.
That feels like an indictment of the free agency class
more
than a selling point for Javonte. I don't know. I'd rather take one of those rookie wide receivers you got there.
All right, we're going to take, I think I'm a little bit lighter on Higgins, so we're going to take Higgins, so that gets us up to 7 wide receivers. We can kind of wait till the final round there.
Look at you balancing your exposures.
I told you, I'm an 8%. I'm an 8% bro now. Think about the draft capital.
Except when it comes to Jacoby Myers.
It's just very hard because Josh Downs is so much better than him, like so much better than him that it's very hard at that specific thing.
I don't know that's so much better than him. I like Downs more than him, but I don't know about so much.
In my head, it is.
It's so good, dude.
Nick,
I'm not even a Jacoby guy, and I got to put some respect on his name.
Nick is, I do have 30% Justin Fields.
So you were projecting about Gritty. You're like, Gritty's a genius with all this Fields and Richardson, and then you're like, I have all this Fields and Richardson.
It does feel fucking crazy that these guys who are going to project every week, like imagine Richardson and Fields are starting in BRs. They're starting quarterbacks, and you know they're starting every week. You're going to be like, oh, that's a quarterback 4-ish, whatever. You know, they're gonna project for 19 points a week.
Yeah. No, I mean it was the same thing with them last year. It's why we all talked about Justin Fields all offseason, because you're like, if he's the quarterback in the fantasy playoffs, he's the smash of all smashes. But guess what? What happened was why he was free in the last round. He wasn't playing in the fantasy playoffs. So like, I mean, that's the bet with both of these guys.
The only thing that makes it different this year is for Fields specifically is that the reporting has been they're just not keeping both guys. They're only going to keep one or the other. All right. We can afford another rookie running back here. We can have a little rookie running back as a treat. Do you have any rookie running back that you have a proclivity for yet?
No, although I liked that the one guy's name sounded like a La Quinta Inn.
Okay, this is my most drafted player, LaQuint Allen.
Wow, then I am just enabling you.
No, we'll do Jordan James this time. We'll get funky. What do you feel? Do you want to take a second or a third tight end on this team, or you think
what's our structure right now for the audio listeners?
We have 3 quarterbacks, Lamar, Dak, and Shadur. We have 5 running backs. We have 7 wide receivers. We have 2 tight ends, being Mark Andrews and Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I feel like we need some more running backs, right?
We definitely need at least one more. Yeah.
Let's get La Quinta for the brand.
Wow. For the brands. All right. That is 3 rookie running backs, which frankly, I like as a build structure because it's like, well, 2 of those guys are zeros. Maybe you moonball the third one. Yeah. Hit you just like, it's like, so many of your guys are going to be zeros anyway that like, so like imagine you do this strategy, you employ this 3 running back per team strategy on 25 teams. 20 of those teams hit 0 moonballs, you know? But like you might group together 2 of the moonballs on 3 of the teams. And those ones become supercharged and live.
Yeah. I mean, you could afford a Marshawn Lloyd, Blake Corum double landmine on a team that also had Bucky Irving last year, for sure.
But you also if you did 150 drafts and you got Tracy and Bucky together on 15 of them, you're giga smashing.
And then on top of that, you were such an enlightened, non-ideal, dogmatic bro that you also took Chuba Hubbard on that team because he slid 10 picks past ADP, and then you became the perfect drafter.
And then you still didn't win because those guys were all bad in week 15. So you still like easily lost.
And so then you went on Twitter and complained about the Best Ball 80 advancement structure for 4 weeks.
You said, actually, there should be a regular season payout. If you think about it, there should be a regular season payout. Yeah, I fear this is in fact a Mason Taylor-ass team. We need a tight end that is not applying for Social Security. I feel like that's true.
Are you Mason Taylor over Gunnar Helm?
No. Gunnar Helm, if you can see my sidekick here, Gunnar Helm has been at the top of the queue for the last 4 rounds. Yeah. That's my guy. That's my Babe Ruth pointing at the outfield. Gunnar Helm ends up being a second round pick and has a better NFL career than Dalton Kincaid. Gunnar Helm.
Second round real life pick, not
pick. Second round real life pick.
Okay. Went to high school just down the street from my parents in Colorado, it looks like. Cherry Creek High School.
Gunnar Helm went before our selection, so now we are going to take Mason Taylor.
Yeah, we did the bad streamer thing about talking about the player we wanted.
But buddy, all these people know. Everyone in this draft, they all know. All right, Mason Taylor. Peter, you can pick any wide receiver you want for our final pick. Wow. And I will not argue. I'll just simply draft.
How many read off our wide receivers so far? I want to see how young and how old we are.
Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, Rashad Bateman, Jordan Whittington, Jaden Higgins. So 1 wide receiver who is on their second contract.
Well, I don't mind Jalen Tolbert to get the stack.
Actually.
He's fine. Yeah.
No, that is pretty good, actually. There we go. Jalen Tolbert. So that draft, Peter, we just made all of our selections in under 36 minutes. Less, actually, even.
You got your guys trained, man. That was
these are good dudes.
I
know what they're doing.
I mean, because I was gonna do 2 hours for Best Ball Breakfast, and I was like, man, I hopped in the draft right away. I was like, this is gonna take me 2 full hours to do 2 drafts. But little do I know it's possible maybe to get 3 drafts in 2 hours. I'll have to file this away if I get the right people.
I mean, you just gotta tell them. You have to be very clear and very concise about your expectations. I don't care if you take Noah Gray. I don't care if you're out here drafting Javonte Williams. All I care about, it's true. I mean, Peter, this was your idea, Peter.
Yeah.
You were the one who told me to do this, just to tell everyone to draft quickly.
Wow. When I realized that you were gonna commit to 150 live, how is your pacing right now? I haven't done the math.
Let's see. If I'm a third of the way done, how full is the tournament? I gotta move the sidekick. Let's see. The tournament is 27.5% full.
So you're ahead.
I'm ahead. And I'm gonna be jamming it. What is the record? Oh, the fastest draft of all time. Yeah, no.
Oh, you won't
chance.
beat that.
Yeah,
you won't beat that. We'll probably try to beat that for a third. But I will say no one has actually ever attempted world's fastest best ball mania draft. It's just impossible to coordinate. Like, you're not going to be able to get 11 people in. If you try, you're going to get one rando in there who's going to ruin it. You're going to be there clicking. So
yeah,
it has to be a private draft to really work.
Okay. Here's the thing. What is the math on how fast a draft takes if everyone presses the plane for 20 rounds? Because there's a little bit of latency.
A delay, yeah.
Yeah, it takes about 2.5 seconds.
I was going to say the exact same. 2.5 seconds is if every, and that, goes against the spirit. The Guinness World Book of Records does not acknowledge pushing the plane for setting the world record.
Yeah.
But it would be a funny thing to do, to coordinate and have everybody just be like, load in the Davis Mattek ranks and push the plane, and we all draft a Davis Mattek ass team. Jacoby Myers can go in the 14th round.
I've got Jacoby Myers ranked very marginally after ADP.
You just completely ignoring him, top of the ranks, top of the sidekick, top of
I actually
ADP.
have him ranked. I actually have him ranked ahead of ADP.
That's so disingenuous. That is so. It's fine to say you're going to bake in the market, but you could not have him ahead of ADP and absolutely hate.
It's not disingenuous. It's just that there's a difference between analytical Davis and sitting on my fucking phone drafting my own teams, Davis. You can know something is objectively correct. Like, Peter, there are lots of things I know that are objectively correct about, like, things I could be doing differently in best ball, things I could be doing differently in DFS, but I don't want to do them because I prefer to play the game. I'm just having fun, dude.
I would argue, Davis, it's possible to balance those two truths. It's possible to have fun and win money.
I'd argue that in my personal experience, the evidence shows quite the opposite, Peter. Quite the opposite. I'm playing badly as a joke. It's just like, guys, that. You're sitting there and you're like, man, I know Jacoby Myers is going to have more stats than Josh Downs. But if he doesn't, the
whole point of having Davis Mattek ranks is to know how Davis feels about a player. And if you have a player ranked ahead of ADP that you fucking hate, what is the point of any of the ranks? At least put him a slight tick behind ADP. And then I'm like, oh, Davis is slightly behind ADP.
As a great man once said, sometimes you just have to put a guy somewhere and rank it. Which is, if you have ever done rankings, is just true. Because there is the thing, and Peter, you know this because from doing BRs, there is no nuance in a finite ranking. The reality is Josh Downs, Jacoby Myers, Matthew Golden, these are the same guy. They're the same. Their functionary pieces are the exact same. They all project about the same.
Yeah, and Jacoby Myers is the same guy as Josh Downs.
In your mind. In your mind. But to me, I'm replaying, Josh Downs. I assume I do.
There's no way. If you're ahead on Jacoby Myers,
no, I don't.
Dude, go back to the drawing board with these ranks.
Well, the other thing is that ADP obviously changes. So
yeah. I
can be ahead of market on a guy, and then if I don't update it, I haven't updated it since Thursday or whatever.
I'm just telling you, the whole point of someone wanting Davis Mattek ranks is because they want to know how you feel about these guys. And I'm telling you, your rank of Jacoby Myers does not indicate how you feel about him. And you can use ADP to anchor you to reality while still having a sprinkle of Davis's thoughts in those ranks.
All right, I got to adjust my ranks. Gotta adjust the ranks. I'm pulling it up. Pulling them up. We're moving Josh Downs up a few spots. We're moving Jacoby Myers down a few spots.
That's right. That's the whole point of drafting off the ranks, right? So you start, that's what Scylla says. I had this guy ranked, and then I started drafting off of him and realized, what? I can't take Alexander Madison here.
As coolers could simply say, fun touchdowns are just simply better. When I get that Anthony Richardson, Josh Downs touchdown on red zone,
Here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm saying the ranking should reflect that.
Okay. All right. Done. The rankings are reflecting it. I'm moving Josh Downs ahead of Jacoby Myers.
There. I feel better.
And you know what? I might even move him ahead of Brandon Ayuk. That might be jumping the shark.
I actually don't think so. That seems fine.
All right, folks. Done. It's done. It's completed.
Where did you do this? Is this in a Google sheet? Where we didn't see it on screen?
It's in a Google sheet. I can't. So you know this because you stream in Firefox, right?
No, Chrome.
Why do you always have your tabs and your browsers and everything up if you stream in Chrome?
Because I share the window instead of.
Why don't you share the screen?
What do you mean? Because
why don't you share the
screen
Chrome
shows
tab?
my inside.
Yeah, why don't you?
Computer.
Yeah, why don't you do the Chrome tab?
Because the Chrome tab only shows one tab, and if I want to have multiple things I want to tab across through, then I want to share my window.
Okay. Well, I have to stream in Firefox because I'm using the Sidekick.
The Sidekick.
So I don't have I'm not logged into all my shit. I don't have it all up on Firefox.
Sidekick really cramping your style. You know, you ignore the Sidekick's ranks. It prevents you from screen.
I don't ignore the Sidekick. I don't ignore the Sidekick's ranks because they're mine. Trust me,
you've uploaded, it's the Sidekick ranks that are shown. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Trust me. If this was Corain's rankings, trust me, I'd be like, well, I'm not doing that.
Don't you think that would be? Hang on. Now, I'm fascinated by this, Davis. Is it the point to me if you have your own ranks in there? Don't you want to put like leg ups ranks in the Sidekicks and then have like a couple opinions? What's the point of having your ranks in both spots?
Oh, because the Sidekick will weigh the positional stuff, it'll weigh the stack stuff, and it will weight ADP as well. So it's basically the Sidekick is just GRP wins, Peter, the horrific sports betting account.
Oh, that really funny old guy who like writes down all of his bets and stuff on like a piece of legal paper. Yeah.
Yeah. A truly insane person, but he does this thing where he puts a little bit of a napkin underneath his plate so that the syrup does not get on like the other parts of his breakfast or whatever.
I know where this analogy is going. I can't believe this is the analogy you went with.
The sidekick is my napkin. It's just keeping the syrup from getting on my team.
Okay. Even when it said you should probably take Jacoby Myers here. And that's the other thing the Sidekick does, right? It randomizes, it balances the ranks too. Yes. It's not just showing you the top every single time.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. The Sidekick, it's all data. So I do like to have it in there. Josh Downs has now moved up to ahead of ADP. I do have Jacoby Myers. I'm going to move Jacoby Myers right below Mark Andrews. All is going to be right in the world. All right. Are we good? Is everyone happy here?
I'm happy. I don't know if the chat's happy, but that made me happy because that was frustrating me before. Because I don't care about the rank. I just want you to be logically consistent.
I mean, I think that speaks very poorly of you to come onto this channel and be like, you know what I expect? Davis Mattek is going to be very logically consistent. I think that sort of is on you. Okay, people want you to see the other ad.
The Davis Mattek YouTube channel is made possible by viewers like you. Every subscriber, memby, and super chat goes to ensuring Davis doesn't have to work at State Farm. Thank you.
Is the ensuring there a pun on the situation, or is that just a bit of serendipity?
You gotta ask, what did I just do? Did I just nuke the background? You're gonna have to ask Zach because that was all him.
Yeah, Zach's so good.
He is he's literally the GOAT.
Also, breaking news, Davis. Oh wow, Rabona King beat me to it.
The Bengals are franchise tagging Higgins. Peter, your immediate reactions on the Bengals.
Change the title of the stream to Peter and Davis react to the T. Higgins. We're going live to nuke Mike Gesicki in the ranks right now.
I don't think it doesn't really nuke him that much, right? It might a little bit. Should I change the title? I probably should, honestly. I probably should put T. Higgins on the.
Honestly, I think in general, if that happens, it's probably a good idea too. I just don't know. T. Higgins signing the franchise tag is moving the clickbait needle.
You'd be surprised how down bad people are for football news in February. Raheem Mostert got released last week, and there were 9 consecutive comments in a row in my YouTube chat saying, dude, Raheem Mostert just got released.
Oh, people love telling you about news. I mean, I was excited to tell you about the Bengals franchise tagging T. Higgins. T's going to be pissed, though, right? Like, this saga isn't over. Like, doesn't he he's going to be upset about the tag? He wants money.
So the interesting thing is that you can be traded on the franchise tag. I heard I read Joe Goodberry discussing this idea that basically like they can franchise tag him. They can renegotiate a contract with him also while he's on the franchise tag, and they can trade him all on the franchise tag. So he's not. Oh, it's a non-exclusive tag, so he's not playing on the tag, but it gives them time to work on the deal. So
a good bit is like reading the responses on Twitter to the Underdog post about it.
I mean, that's just
doing my guy dirty.
Yeah, I do always. That is one of my favorite genres, is people who act like a news account, or like Adam Schefter or something is like a real person that's reading their tweet. Like they have like very in-depth conversations. They're like, why are you not responding to me? That is always very funny.
There's this one guy that wrote, first he wrote, ain't no way he gonna play on that. And then 2 minutes later responds again, separate post, let him be free man or pay him. I just love that this guy, like, he took a minute, like, got that tweet off. He's like, I got to go back. I got more that Underdog news account needs to know.
Yeah, all your Higgins. I mean, Higgins May stacks blowing up. Let me tell you, big deal there actually is that just made Chris Godwin a couple extra $1 million probably. Maybe made Steph Diggs some more money. Maybe made DeAndre Hopkins some more money. If he's really not available, there's no one there.
What is the most galaxy brain, either rookie dot connecting or free agent dot connecting stack that you have purposefully done trying to predict a pairing?
Justin Herbert and Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan, because Harbaugh recruited and coached Loveland. Although Loveland might be too expensive for the Chargers
Disley replacement.
Yeah. Well, I think Disley kind of replaced himself, but yes.
Dude, I will say Disley had a little stretch there. What was it? Was it the game against the Cardinals where he went nuts?
There was that run for like a month where like he was the number one. He was what was he? He was the number one targets per route run tight end for like 3 weeks, and he was like on the FFPC waiver wires the whole time. Stroud to Igbuka, I've heard this one. They played together at Ohio State. Texans pick at I think 19, like right in the range to take a secondary wide receiver.
Wait, what happens because like Stroud, famously Tank Dell is Stroud's favorite dude on earth.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets him, then who becomes his new favorite? That could be tough for Stroud.
Locker room issues.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably all just so happy to not be coached by Bobby Slowick anymore. It's probably about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to take off so I can do a couple things before the end of the day here. But it was good to join you. And I have an idea for us for a best ball streaming idea that I'll tell you about off air soon that I've been kicking around.
Oh, you didn't want to workshop it in front of everyone? It's just kind of what we do here.
That's not how I operate, Davis. I don't
no. You
move like that.
You move in the shadows. Yeah.
When people need to know, they'll know. And until then, hold their horses.
I just recorded a great podcast this morning. Probably not that great, but it's okay. With Jack Settleman. I have like come.
You recorded with Settleman?
Yeah.
What Takecast?
Yeah, just because like it's so funny. Obviously, like NBA Top Shot stuff, like Settleman, Snapback Jack, like Settleman, dude, whatever. But like obviously after getting into the YouTube stuff, I'm like, is Jack like a secret genius? Like, is he like like I'm just fascinated about his business thought, his business.
My favorite Jack bit right now is he moved to Miami, and he's really trying to drive the point home that everything's cheaper outside of New York, which is again a universally agreed thing. Like no one disagrees that everything is cheaper, but he's like posting like photos of like an acai bowl and being like $2 cheaper than in New York. I'm like, Jack, you don't have to justify moving to Miami anymore so you can save $2 on your peanut butter acai bowl, dude. He's like posted the beach and you guys said that I should stay in New York. It's like, dude, no, we know like the beach. Yeah, we get it, Jack. You got to move to Miami.
Shout out to him.
Follow Miami Jack on Instagram. It's fun. It's a fun follow. That's literally the name of it. It's called Miami Jack. I wish I was kidding. What did you talk to him about?
Literally just about his business, just about like YouTube and like how it all works and marketing to 22-year-olds, and like also like his YouTube channel is fascinating because it's not. He is like this is the wrong way to say it, but he is like a Mr. Beast style.
Yeah.
Like they tell stories.
Their thumbnails even look like Mr. Beast.
Yeah. So I was just curious about that whole world. How does that work? How do you market that? And he, great hook, obviously, for a thumbnail and for the title. He deleted his 600,000 subscriber YouTube account with a good Jack face. So worked backwards from the thumbnail, basically, is how that went.
Well, they have a good beat. Like the niche they're trying to carve out of like ranking the best sports experiences. And because like I would literally be a consumer of like, I've never been to like an SEC football game. I would love to go do like the tailgate. I wouldn't necessarily know which, like what's better to go do the Ole Miss one, like go do the Alabama, like which one, like they have videos that will show you the experience, like boots on the ground of those things, which is a very valuable thing for people who are planning out sports experiences. And then they go to everything and just shoot vlog style. And I think that's I think it's a cool hook for a channel for sure.
It's very cool. And I thought Jack would have some interesting things to say, and he did. And also he does, in my opinion, sports betting stuff in a cool way. Maybe not even a cool way, just in a responsible way where no one is going to Snapback Jack and being like, I need these winning picks, and if they don't hit, the mafia is going to break my legs. Like it's just like it's sports betting, it's entertainment. We're here for the vibes. We're doing Lamar Jackson rushing pick'ems, because so much sports betting content is terrible. Obviously, just like the worst dregs of society type shit.
Yeah, I wrote about that in my newsletter the other week, or just like good sports betting content. I'm not even sure it like exists like as an ideal. Like I don't, because educational sports betting content, very valuable, like serves a purpose, but like never going to scale, never going to have mass appeal. And then the stuff that does have mass appeal is problematic in lots of different ways or whatever. I mean, don't want to really litigate that again. We talked about it with Holka. You talked about it a little bit with him. But yeah, just like really good sports betting content is because there's no like equivalent. The closest for us is like what we do on the Shipcast, where we just like communal sweat, hang it out. But there's no like draft equivalent for sports betting. Like no one's going to watch you build an entry, or talk about why you think the Chiefs are a money line favorite for an hour. Maybe they will, maybe people will, but like, I don't know. I feel like really good sports betting content is super hard to do.
I certainly have not solved it. My the show I do on Fridays with Rich and with Nez like gets like half, and maybe this is like a marketing niche thing, but it just doesn't get near as many views, obviously, as the streams do.
Well, and I think that's like an audience thing. Like if you exclusively devoted your life to just talking about lines and spreads and single game parlays, and you built up an audience, like then that audience would care about it. But like we've seen time and time again, people who are interested in fantasy games, who like puzzles and solving these new puzzles, like they're not as interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they definitely don't just want to tune in and get the answer to whatever.
No.
Yeah.
No. All right, man.
All right, man.
Peace out, but I'll see everybody tomorrow on the Swolecast.
Later, brother. Have a good day,
Peace.
man. All right, folks. That was Mr. Peter Overzet. Thank you. Thank you to Pete for joining the show. But I mean, you guys know what time it is. Wow, that filled up. That filled up very quickly. So I wonder if we actually don't have a lot of we might not have a lot of friends and family here. This might be a low degree. Okay, ridiculous in a good way. Okay, there I was gonna say ridiculous in a good way, or bad way. I remember when Pete had 100% naked Mahomes exposure in the big board. I have to pee very, very quick, and then we're gonna do this draft. All right, let's ship it. 3 to 4 preemie drafts going. Yes, so we do need some clips. We need more clips. We need a clip for me to play when I have to go pee. That is very big. We need like a 57 second. Well, Pepper Tony, it's I wouldn't say this is necessarily on purpose, but it's not on purpose. Because the thing is it's impossible to time anyways, because you guys are on a little bit of a delay compared to me as well. All right. Do I just take Genty first? You know what? I'm going to. I am just going to take Genty first. They can't stop me. What's worst case scenario here? Worst case scenario is I get AJ Brown. Sure. I'd be fine. Actually, would be totally fine taking A-Chain. I've not done this start yet. Sometimes you just need to rank your guys. You want a hat, Trent? This hat or the one that Adrian made that are the Davis Mattek fantasy football hats. Got in at 6. All right. There we go. Isn't Genty A-Chain? Well, all right. I will I'll have to work on this. I'll have to figure this out because there's got to be a way for me to port over the designs. I actually frankly, I just have not looked. I just have not at all looked into setting up a merch store, basically. Seems like it would be, probably actually would not be that difficult, because I assume what they do is they just take your logos and then when someone orders it, they just print it. Like, I don't think I have to buy like 40 hats or whatever, but maybe that's not true. I will, I'll have to look into that. Are we cooking in this one? I don't think we are. I think we are not cooking. Yeah, I need Shopify or whatever whatever the ship chasing boys have, I need to do. The Sharkus, Clay Dog, Rolly Doinks, Jake Twitch, Hawkberg, Pepper Tony. Well, this hat is not mine. This hat is all right. Okay. I will put this on my to-do list for the next 2 weeks. I will look into this. I will get it. It's probably not even that hard. I probably am making it more complicated than it needs to be. But that'll be on my list of things to accomplish. Man, I'm gonna have to spend the next 7 or 8 rounds missing. I think the market was the whole time is kind of what it feels like to me. I need to make the timestamp for this draft. 1-0. Big board 53 of 150. 53 big boards in. All right, we'll take Mike Evans. Genty with a mustache. That would be pretty good. Yeah, I assume Peter has it well done. Yeah, NBA All-Star. The game is no good. I mean, All-Star games are terrible though. Like, what is a good All-Star game? The NFL quit theirs. The Major League Baseball All-Star game doesn't matter anymore. I think the NHL skipped. I'm going to take Jameson Williams to give myself another potential quarterback because I only have Baker right now. Dunk contest was cool. Yeah, good All-Star game is what the NHL is doing right now. 100%. 100%. It was very cool. That USA Canada game was awesome. And people didn't know. Yeah, people did not know the thing is people didn't know if the players were going to care. They didn't know, like, they thought like some guys were going to opt out, not show up, and that is not what happened. I mean, they're just our no stakes. It just doesn't matter. Right? The Pro Bowl game sucked. I mean, I don't even ever remember watching the NHL All-Star game. That was a cool All-Star weekend. Yeah. I could see flag football working, but I don't know. Then you're still opening yourself up to potential injury. NHL has the skills competition. I have heard that. Also, yes, people do just love to complain. The losing. Yeah, Bobby, I ain't going nowhere, brother. Ain't going nowhere. I'll be here with you in February. I'm here with you in June. I'm here with you in August. I'm here with you in September. The trenches are for everyone. Mr. Beast was at the All-Star game. Incredible. Of course he was. I did not know that this happened. I didn't know that about announcing the Super Bowl MVP happened at the parade. Seems like it'd be cool though. All right, we do have multiple people. Using the entire clock, so that's fine. But it does mean that we might not get that many drafts in. Maybe we only do 2 today. Depends on how fast this one is. Need a stream where we draft an albatross, a dinger, a dance, and a big board. I think we could probably get that done. MacNova, I think we could probably get that done. Maybe even today. You never know. Although I don't have any ranks cooked in for the albatross. I know. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of MLB drafts. I think I'm 30 or so drafts into the dinger. Okay. Well, I really need a wide receiver. Man, we are toast here. All right, I'm going to take Judy because I don't care which running back comes back to me. I think it's super likely that T and Godwin stay with their current team. Yeah. Very, very likely. Huh. Do we take Kamara? Do we take Kenneth Walker? Walker I do really like, and I take all right, never mind. Sure, we'll take a little bit of ADP value here. So we've got Baker, we've got Goff, and we've got Cam Ward that we can all take at quarterback. That's fine. David with the 1999 super sticker. You're the man. I honestly have no idea, but it does just feel to me like the thing that benefits everyone is just to run it back. The big concern you would have, obviously, is you can't have Joe Burrow pissed off. You can't have Where's he getting traded to, though? Getting traded on the non-exclusive franchise tag? There's one thing I do know. Yes, there is a difference. On YouTube, you get Discord, you get some cool emojis, you get members-only videos. It's $4.99. Patreon is $9.99, I believe. You get the Discord, you get rankings, you get written articles. I've written a bunch of prospect profiles for rookies in the NFL draft. I mean, if I was, it's what do you value, Lutz? You choose what you value. Either way, you get in the Discord. Either way, you get a little something bonus extra, but it's up to you what you value. What is the way the Bengals do replace T. Higgins with a high level functioning player? Yeah, if the Bengals were sharp, they would have traded Higgins last year and took BTJ at 18. Yeah, well, the Bengals are not very sharp. I think most of the information we have suggests that the Bengals are not a sharp, forward-thinking, analytics-minded, good football knowledge front office. I think the preponderance of the evidence is that they're actually quite a poorly run front office. They continually shoot themselves in the foot with contract negotiations. They have these huge whiffs on first, second, and third round picks all the time. I mean, the Jermaine Burton stuff. So to do Jermaine Burton as a third round pick when you know how important that pick is, that was such an important pick for them organizationally to get correct, and they did not get it correct. That's also fair, but I think part of the reason why they might not be that successful of a team is Joe Burrow is not quite as good as people think he is. I know no one wants to hear that. It makes everyone angry when I say it. Guys, I swear to God, I really was going to take Jacoby Myers on this team for the bit. I swear I really was. You know what? I'm just gonna take Baker just to get my stack. I was like, I thought it was gonna be a great bit to take Jacoby Myers there, and then they didn't let me. And now I'm gonna get Rashid Shaheed, who I actually like. Will Fangio go down as Mahomes' kryptonite? Well, didn't he kill Fangio on one of Fangio's old teams, though? I want to say he maybe even got Vic Fangio fired. Let me look this up, because I'm pretty sure this is true. Well, he killed Fangio in 2023, killed him in Denver. I don't think Fangio ever beat him in Denver, actually. If I remember correctly. Yeah, I was gonna say I remember Mahomes being like the Fangio killer. Yeah. Of course, I'm not saying the Bengals are maybe not even in the bottom half of organizations. Well, they might be because they're so cheap. But they make mistakes that are so easy to see from the outside, I guess. And that it's so funny that, I mean, this really is just the answer. The Eagles just built one of the best teams ever. I mean, the Commanders, man. Commanders are going to get there with Jaden Daniels. I mean, it sounds like T has already really asked to be traded. It sounds like T Higgins does not really want to be playing for the Bengals. Now, I don't know how that works in reality. Yeah, this is kind of the other. Zach Taylor is not a good NFL head coach. I mean, the key is, I mean, yes. So this is a good point. If you identify internally one of your players as being great, pay them as early as possible. Cowboys make this mistake. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, think about how much the Cowboys have cost themselves delaying extensions. They did it with Dak. You know, they keep making these giant mistakes. So we ran out of all the quarterbacks there. All the quarterbacks got decimated. Wow, we just got crushed at quarterback. So sadly, this is going to be another one of these crappy quarterback teams that I do that you guys hate. Sidekick wants Mims. I think I am inclined to give it Marvin Mims. Yeah. All right. Marvin Mims, unleash Peppertoni. Mike Evans, Jameson Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims. Baker and Evans stacked. Genty, A-Chain, Kamara. You know what? We'll do a Pacheco here. Haven't done a Pacheco. Believe that is the first time I've taken him. 110 overall. It's pretty fair. Yeah. Well, I do run into this problem, Mr. Sorensen, where I just keep taking Anthony Richardson and Fields, and there are a lot of eventualities of this season where that does not work for me. I did not say that Derrick Henry isn't good. I just said that Derrick Henry did not have the most Derrick Henry season of all time because he's 30. It would be stunning if Derrick Henry was ripping off a bunch of 90-yard touchdowns, you know. Oh, T is definitely getting more than that. T is definitely getting more than 4 for 120. Yeah, no doubt about that. All right. Mims Pacheco is a very low floor turn pick to be making. Quarterbacks, man, we are running. Well, I guess we've got Ward and Carr. I cannot justify taking Roschon Johnson in every draft. If you could look into a crystal ball and see that the Chicago Bears did not take a running back in the 2025 NFL draft, then sure. But they seem pretty likely to take a running back in the 2025 NFL draft. And as that is the case, I wouldn't take him every time. I mean, can't you? Can't you pay if T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are the second and third best players on their team? Why can't they afford to do that? There's always a way. True. The Henry Bros need to let all of us who faded and lost call him Fancy Gus Edwards and move on. Pepper Tony, can we agree on that? Can you just let me call him Fancy Gus Edwards and move on? Oh, we've dropped plenty of takes on T. Higgins. I mean, I think this was always the most obvious move. The question just remains, is he playing on the franchise tag or is he not? And the answer to that is, well, I don't really think anyone knows. My guess is the most likely scenario is that T. Higgins is in fact a member of the Bengals next season. Just a guess. All right. They hate to see it. Drafting with Liam. Dak is not a free agent. I think Dak is under contract for like 3 more years. Dak Prescott, Spotrac. Dak is under contract for 4 more seasons. All right, you know what? Let's take likely. Double up on tight ends. Sure. Why not? That's a weird turn. I think he was. I don't think he is anymore, but he might be. So, based on my understanding, T. Higgins signed the non-exclusive franchise tag, which means he can be traded. Non-exclusive franchise tag. I'm sure there's a good article here. Okay. Bengals plan to use non-exclusive franchise tag on T. Higgins for second straight year. Sources say Higgins camp expects to get tagged at this point. He'd be the top free agent if he were to make it to free agency. Last year, the Bengals tagged Higgins, and there wasn't much dialogue about a long-term contract. He was the only player that was tagged. This is interesting. He was the only player that was tagged by his team last year that didn't sign a multi-year extension. This year feels different. The Bengals plan to sign the star receiver to a long-term deal. Higgins changed ages in December. That does mean a team could negotiate a long-term deal with Higgins, but it would cost them 2 first-round picks. Okay. So here's the deal. This dude is a Bengal. Yeah, this dude is a Bengal. Another team would have to give up 2 first-round picks in order to get T. Higgins on their team to the deal. So they have to give up the money and the 2 first-round picks, and the Bengals could still match. Is Hochberg friends and family? I do see his name in these drafts quite a bit. Yeah, I can message JJ and see if he wants to come on. I know that he's very busy working on the prospect guide, so he might not want to, but yeah, I can ask. Heard a bull case for Ja'Cory Brooks. Good snaps and targets down the stretch at Bama as a freshman. 5-star recruit out of high school. He has not come up for me yet, but maybe I just haven't been looking deep enough. Coolers, the overflow draft is all the people that don't get into the one on the stream. So it's like if 20 people all go register for the draft at the same time, the overflow is the people that don't get in the draft that is on the stream. All right. Ja'Cory Brooks played at Alabama for 3 seasons. Never really got on the field. Well, 25% dominator rating in 11 games in 2022, so not nothing. 36% dominator rating at Louisville last year. Let's run some sims. I'll give him draft pick 75. What is Ja'Cory Brooks' weight? Ja'Cory Brooks' weight, 194. All right, not loving that. Ja'Cory Brooks 40 time. According to NFL Draft Buzz, he's supposed to run a 4.6. All right, got to take a quarterback. Got to do Cam Ward to set up my stack here. Cam Ward, Jerry Jeudy. They don't know. Bengals can eventually rescind the franchise tag if Higgins won't play and they don't come together on a contract. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. You know what? I'm taking Justin Fields, brother. They can't stop me, even if they stopped me. Does feel very Javon Bakery. If this reported 40 time for Ja'Cory Brooks is right, he's like a non-prospect. I don't know if this reported 40 time is right, but if it is, his closest comps on RotoViz: Jordan Shipley, Dante Pettis, Josh Huff, Taywan Taylor, Rashee Rice, okay, Tony Lippett, Ryan Broyles, Brandon LaFell, Austin Pettis, and Vincent Brown. So not really a list you would want to be on. Are the Bengals the nutted spot for T? Can't think of a team where his ADP would increase. All right, well, let's think about it. Would his ADP increase on the Bills? Maybe marginally. But the Bills don't really have the money. Perhaps the Chargers, maybe? Big deal to the Chargers. If Matthew Golden runs a 4.5, he is going to... Matthew Golden would be dust if he runs a 4.5. Like, his chances of being a first-round pick would be done. Yeah, I didn't really like... Rashee was an okay prospect, so yeah, I don't think it means that much either. The Athletic Zach Jackson writes that the Browns might only be able to afford a bridge quarterback like Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think they are just taking Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders, really. I believe I have Damian Martinez ranked just ahead of Rashard Smith. No, I have them ranked right by each other. I have them ranked within 5 total spots. Go with God there. No, Golden does not play like he runs a 4.3, but that doesn't really matter. I think like the obvious Kirk spots are the Las Vegas Raiders or the Cleveland Browns. Perhaps even the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts love to do their veteran quarterback stuff. I don't know. There are a lot of theoretical spots for Kirk Cousins. Are we at the point where Jordan James should be in front of both Martinez and Smith? True. The thing about Jordan James is that I moved him up some because he was I've been lighter on Mr. Besh, so I'm gonna take him here. Pepper Tony does. %, the Stefanski Cousins relationship. All right, gonna go Besh there. Can save tight end for our final pick. We can maybe even just double tap wide receiver here. I don't think Russ, Cousins, or Rodgers is playing football in week 17. Okay. That's a big take. Isaiah Bond is going to run the fastest 40 at the combine. I was in the middle of making a point and then I forgot. Will I take Braylon Allen here? Yes. People only like Jordan James because he was high on Dane Brugler's board. Tez Johnson weighs 156 pounds. I just can't get over that. That's so crazy. 156 pounds. Well, Daniel Jones doesn't have to be traded because he is a unrestricted free agent. I mean, I think the answer with Jordan James and these other guys is unless you have some reason or instinct to believe that one of them are significantly better than the other, or one of them starts to get a lot of buzz or a lot of hype or really kills the combine, I don't think you want to have too many of any of them. I mean, I think Tez is fine. It's just very hard, and his comps are not that good. You know, he was not that productive. He played with Troy Franklin and got kind of dunked on by Troy Franklin. And then Troy Franklin was not that good in the NFL. So whenever a guy's, competition is not good in the NFL, that's always a bit, to me, of a red flag. So if I'll give him a 160 weight draft pick, 160, and I'll give him a 4.38 40 in the RotoViz spreadsheet, and we'll see where he comes up. Yeah, really late in the draft, man. I'm just taking rookies. I mean, Gibson, you could take a flyer on. Akers, I think you could take a flyer on. Singletary, Sean Tucker, Moss, maybe. I don't know about the extent of this Zach Moss neck injury. He could be okay. Looks like the best Tez comp is Tyquan Thornton. Thornton was 180 pounds, ran the 4.28, was also not particularly productive. Maybe like a Marcus Wheaton style player. Torrey Horton was just a very productive player at Colorado State. That's really all it is. Torrey Horton, smaller school, very low degrees of competition, but played with Trey McBride for a year. Is Khalil Herbert dead forever? I fear that Khalil Herbert is in fact dead. Yeah, Justice Hill is okay as a vet. I don't hate that. Where are we at in rookies? I could, you know what? Mr. Donyata. I don't know how to say that. You want me to take Tez Johnson, bro? I don't think I've taken him yet. Here's the Tez Johnson team. There's one. Don't ever say that I did nothing for you. Torrey Horton did get injured at some point, and I can't remember if it was. I believe Torrey Horton got injured in 2023. is when Torrey Horton got injured. So I believe he is healthy. Now we're up. We need to pick. We need a running back. We'll do Brashard Smith. I've been taking a lot of LeQuint. We'll go back to Brashard. There we go. Dante. All right, there we go, Dante. I got you. 43% Herbert. What were you watching? Were you watching a bunch of Neil's streams, brother? All right, who was I just looking up? Oh, Torrey Horton. Torrey Horton, Colorado State, 2020 to 2024. He transferred from Nevada. He actually had a 20% dominator rating in 2020. All right, let's give him a draft pick of 90. What do we have for a weight for Torrey Horton? Torrey Horton, only 185. So that is not great. You would definitely prefer him to be bigger than that. We'll go 185. I'll give him a 4-4. Yes. Tomorrow, Wald, there is going to be a YouTube members only program. So only people who are members of the channel will have access to this. But Nez is going to join me, and we are going to do a dance stream. So NBA playoff basketball. Over under on running backs drafted in rounds 1, 2, and 3. I think the right number is right about 12. All right, let me pull up my list. 2025 rookie running backs. All right, these are the guys that to me are 100%. Genty, Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins. Those are 100% non-negotiable, definite day 2 picks. Day 1 or day 2 picks. So that's 5. I think you put Ollie Gordon, Dylan Sampson, Scadaboo, Neal, Tootin, Richard, Harvey, and Jordan James in the maybe list. So I think you're looking at like 10. Because, a quarter of the maybe guys will fall. Someone I don't know or don't like or whatever are going to come in. Now, what was Worthy's listed weight? Xavier Worthy weight. 165 listed weight. So 10 pounds bigger than Tez. And Tez is not going to be as fast. Kalel Mullings is not going to be a round 2 or round 3 pick. No. Mullings will be a round 5 pick, but for a team that is likely to play him, I think. All right. When are we going to close this draft? We got Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, Justin Fields, Ashton Genty, Devin Achane, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco, Braylon Allen, Brashard Smith, Mike Evans, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, Jack Besh, Tez Johnson, Dalton Kincaid, and Isaiah Likely. We did just get a guy with a season-ending injury already drafted. Tez weighs 156 pounds, brother. He just was at the. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna do another after this, Mr. Kramer. We are gonna keep firing. All right, we need one more wide receiver. We definitely need more of an adult. I took Cam Ward, so I'm gonna take Elijah Moore with this next pick. Love to get an adult in the room. Season ending. Pepper Tony, you absolute dick. All right. Gotta call an audible. Don't really want to take another rookie. Is Curtis Samuel gone? Darius Slayton. Sure. Whatever. Brutal. Yeah, that was his Senior Bowl weight. All right. Let's close this out with a tight end. We have Kincaid and Likely. So we could take my guy Gunnar Helm. And in fact, we are going to take my guy Gunnar Helm. All right, final team. We did Genty and A-Chain. So how did I like the wide receiver starting Genty and A-Chain? Evans, J-Mo, Judy. Don't love that. Kamara, I did like. Baker, like. Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, that's a good turn. Pacheco, Kincaid, Likely. Cam Ward, Fields. Besh, Braylon, Tez, Brashard, Slayton, Helm. Yeah, I think it's really low. I think I'd set the line at 3.5 first-round wide receivers. Yes, but Tutu was like way more productive at generating statistics. Tez did not really produce statistics. Tutu produced a lot of statistics when he was in college. Okay. We're going to wrap this one up. We are going to go hop into another big board. You guys know what that means. All right, let's see how friends and family we get in this one. Is it going to be friendly? Is it going to be family? 141.20, big board, 54 of 150. Tez's older brother is in the NFL. It's true. His name is Bo Nix. Jamar Chase. Come on down. Influencer 101. All right, we've got Kramer. We've got WD Simp. We've got Huron River Rat. We've got Clay Dog. We've got BSP. We've got the neighborhood. Remember, fellas, no one will remember in the end if your team was good or if you won any money, but they will remember how quick you drafted. And that's all we care about. No, it's true. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Darius Slayton, all these guys, that's just an extra spot for them, right? All right, Kirk, I'm putting you to the test, brother. Quickliness is next to godliness. Yeah, gotta take Jamar Chase at Yes, I did. Yeah. Salted Cod, that's exactly where I got it. You don't have to golf well, but you do have to draft quickly. And in fact, the worse you are golfing, the quicker you should be golfing. Like if you're just absolutely hacking it out there, you're terrible. You can't make any contact. You should be playing so fast. Yes, you got to take Chase at 1 because you're just not getting him anywhere else. I think he's like historically he's got to be the worst first round pick in terms of like total usage profile that we've ever had. I would assume he's got to be the worst. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna have 0 Jamar Chase? It does not feel very wise. Neighborhood goes London over AJ Brown. Yeah, JT was worse that one year. Okay, Lutz, all you got to do to become a member is link your YouTube account in Discord. So if the two accounts are linked, same email, same accounts, you link them together, you will be tossed in the Discord. You'll be added automatically. I would not mind. I think I've been a little bit lighter on Bucky. I'm going to do Bucky. Oh, I did, Jake. Oh, I forgot to click off autopilot. But that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna take 2 running backs there anyways. I was actually gonna take Brees, but so we start with Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, and Bucky Irving. You cook yourself up, brother. Yeah, I wouldn't actually be surprised if this is true. I think we will see Barkley, particularly when the more casual drafters come in. I think we are much more likely to see Barkley going 101. A golf quandary. The more you suck, the more uncomfortable you are, and it's hard to swing when you're uncomfortable. 100%. 100%. Everyone's been there. We've all experienced it. I was a beer cart witch in high school for a public course. Heard pro was a dick. Made me make sure everyone finished 9 holes in 2 hours. Hey. Bijan will be the 101 next year. That would not be surprising to me in any way, shape, or form. If I could, make, I think Jefferson or Bijan have the usage profile. Yeah. I think the quote unquote correct, like the correct rankings are Jefferson, Bijan, Chase. I think you could make a pretty convincing argument for CeeDee Lamb after that, But the thing is you're just, it's non-reality to be discussing these scenarios because it's not going to happen, because ADP itself, the ADP inertia is impossible to battle against, because there are enough people like me who think like, oh, Chase is like this terrible historical 101, which he is. But what am I? I have no interest in pursuing this entire fantasy football season without having Jamar Chase. And so I'm just going to keep taking him there. And if even I think he's not good, but I'm taking him. Well, the thing is, Jeremy, is I can think that way, but I'm still going to take him because I'm going to balance my stuff. I'm going to balance my stuff out. I'm not going to end up with 0 Puka because I'm just going to keep taking. I'm just going to take whoever's there in the first round, really. I'm just not going to be making these big stands the way that I did. So I actually can't afford Rashee Rice on this team because I'm dust at wide receiver because I took the 2 running backs. So I'm going to do Jamar Chase, and I'm actually going to take Jordan Addison. So there's 2 things going on there. The first being, obviously, I really like Jordan Addison. But the other thing is when you have Chase, you kind of need in a potential week 17 to know that Justin Jefferson is having a bad game. And so you kind of like Jordan Addison a little bit as leverage there when you have a Bengal or when you have Jamar Chase or when you don't have Justin Jefferson. Chase is a bad 101 just because he has so often has these brutal low games. Like Jamar Chase won the Triple Crown last season, and he averages 10 yards fewer per game than Justin Jefferson in their careers. So it's not even really anything about Chase. Chase is just he's a very good player, obviously, but he is not as good usage-wise as other first-round wide receivers. I believe his targets per route run and yards per route run was worse than Puka as well. This is a little overblown that Chase gets all his points in 2 to 4 games per year, but it's certainly not underblown. I'll tell you that much about Chase. It was a little bit different last year because their team was so bad, but Chase did have 7-ish games under 15 points, Really like the Rome Coleman Franklin on robust RB builds as they have prime breakout metrics, especially Roman Franklin. Well, I mean, he certainly does, though. That's the thing, is Jefferson certainly does have those games. I mean, I believe Jefferson just had a 40-point game last year. Yeah, he had. So, I mean, he's got multiple 35-pointers, obviously. And he's got, multiple 180-yard, 2-touchdown games. Sufficiently blown. Well, I would just say that just because something hasn't happened yet or didn't happen the way you expected it to does not necessarily mean that it is unlikely to be. Got to take Jennings here. And then we're going to take we'll take Jalen McMillan. So basically the way ceiling works in fantasy football is it is just a function of efficiency multiplied by volume. So any set of ceiling projections in a given week is actually going to have Jefferson either ahead of or right next to Jamar Chase. So just because Jefferson has not yet had a 45-point game, he has the profile of usage that is actually more likely to lead to a quote-unquote 45-point game than Chase. And I know none of you guys agree with me on this, so whatever. And we are picking nits, obviously, amongst great players. And maybe it'll just cost me a bunch of money. But there is basically no argument to take Chase in a sport that rewards receptions, yards, and point. Well, then if you were in 4 years of a career, I'd ask you why Jefferson has been so much better than him. We're 4 years into a career and Jefferson has been way, way better than him. The only time that Chase was better, I guess he was better than him at LSU. I actually don't remember. Let's look it up. They were pretty close. Jefferson had 35 more receptions. 35 more receptions in college for Justin Jefferson. I did not really remember that. Well, remember the Vikings defense did used to be bad. It did used to be a real chucking situation. And then in a very no one knew look, trust me. If I knew the Vikings defense was going to be as good as it was last season, I would have really changed my tune. I don't even really want to take Bo Nix, but I might. I mean, this feels like a pretty good spot. Sure, Bo Nix, mix him with Brock Purdy. Bang. Maybe you guys in this draft will decide that you don't want Marvin Mims and he'll come all the way back around to me. I mean, maybe I am downplaying Chase a little bit. I think that is a perfectly reasonable. I think that is a perfectly reasonable stance. That you just want the best quarterback in the better situation. The other thing is Jefferson gets all those games in a dome, which is quite nice. That is one potential mitigating factor that might have you lean a little bit more towards Jefferson. Is Sam Darnold this year's Baker Mayfield? I mean, I think Sam Darnold was kind of last year's Baker Mayfield in terms of like a guy who was at absolute zero, who then came all the way back up. You should always go downs, brother. What'd you do? You just take Jacoby Myers, man? Shameful. Who took Jacoby Myers in this one? BSP took Jacoby Myers. Classic. All right. Through 10 rounds, we have Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Jalen McMillan. No tight end yet. I think we might be cooking here. All right. Neighborhood did not give me a chance to take Marvin Mims. Whatever. What happened to last year's thing of Sam Darnold is the Josh Rosen of Baker Mayfield? That's not quite right. That's not quite right. Yeah, Baker was more like a 13th, 14th rounder. Fading Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe, betting on Will Howard, Kyle McCord, and Quinn Ewers. You could talk me into Will Howard. You could not talk me into Kyle McCord and Quinn Ewers. Sam, yes. There you go, Pepper Tony. You were better at that there than I was. Sam Darnold is the Andy Dalton of Baker Mayfield's. That is true. Well, I run into the problem I always run into, which is it is just goddamn impossible to get a running back that you like here. So I'm going to take Devin Neal. I guess, I thought he moved. All right, I'm going to take Devin Neal, and then I'm going to take Tucker Kraft, who I don't love, but just fills a positional need, keeps me from starting my tight end room with like Colston Loveland. Also, yeah, you don't have to take any of them. You know, you could do more quarterback teams like this. So I have Nix and Purdy. Don't even have to take a third one if I don't want. But I do kind of like these double mid quarterback, mid window quarterbacks. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I realize I'm probably gonna have to change the T. Higgins titling back, but I'll keep it for now. Baker Mayfield is the Brett Favre of Geno Smith. That's also very good. I do like that. No, the Broncos are going to sign Juwan Johnson in free agency. I believe Juwan Johnson should already be looking for rental space in Denver, Colorado. He is a full UDFA. The Saints only save money. Well, it's not even about saving money. There just is no committed money. It would cost them money to bring him back. The Broncos were basically like the worst tight end production team in the NFL last year, so pretty clear that that he's coming back. Peyton might just convert Lil Jordan Humphrey to tight end. Look, Terrence. Jackson Dart is going to Bo Nix himself up to the Jets at 7. I think we are in the midst of the Bo Nixification of Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is the Bo Nix of Geno Smith. And I don't mean playing style. I mean in terms of where he went in the NFL draft. He's the Bo Nix of, I'm about to pull out a crazy name that you guys are none of you guys are even going to remember this name. Jackson Dart is the Bo Nix of Ryan Nassib's. How about that? You guys remember Ryan Nassib? You guys remember Syracuse's own Ryan Nassib? And if you guys think I'm making that up, there is literally, if you Google Ryan Nassib first round, pages and pages of Ryan Nassib as an NFL draft first rounder picks up buzz. NFL Films analyst. Hold on, I got to make this pick. God, Travis Hunter is still there. I do need a running back, though. I need running back more. Someone was telling me to take Trey Benson. We'll take Trey Benson. I am happy to take... I have no rookie wide receivers yet. I'm happy to take Isaiah Bond here. But yes, Jackson Dart is the Bo Nix of Ryan Nassib's. Well, Trey Benson was not exactly beaten out by Amari DiMercato. They just chose to do... This is very common with NFL teams. They have a veteran special teamer style guy play on third downs and then keep the rookie running back or the third running back in reserve as basically when the starter gets hurt, you're going to come in. I don't think it was you. Someone else was telling me, someone else was really giving me the hard sell on Trey Benson. Maybe it was you, man. Maybe it was you, Ball is Life. I can't remember. But someone definitely was telling me to go all in. And Benson is look, funnily enough, Benson could actually take the mantle of another guy who is behind a great running back. Remember, James Conner was behind Le'Veon Bell and then got his... I believe James Conner got his first major run from the holdout. That is me remembering correctly. James Conner, 32 rushes, 144 yards, 0 receptions as a rookie. And in 2018 for the Steelers, yeah, that was the holdout. 215 rushes, 973 yards, 12 touchdowns, 55 receptions, 497 yards, and a touchdown. Well, this is what I was just trying to tell Peter, and then Peter was making fun of me. Like being 10 spots behind means that effectively you'll get none of someone. That's like basically a full round. But the differences in these players in 13th, like a 13th round pick, maybe not. A 14th round pick, like Dontavian Wicks's range of outcomes is the same as Gabe Davis's, but there is a 50 pick discrepancy between them. And that is just very hard. I know this from doing the rankings. It's very hard to deal with that as a ranker. Because what do you do? What do you say? It's like, okay, well, dynamic rankings, like I don't have a tool built for. I guess the Sidekick is the answer. The Sidekick does give you the dynamic rankings. This is a great spot. They need a vet tight end here, probably. Let's do Ertz. And then we need another running back. Did my mouse just die again? Dude, I am having a hard time because my AirPods are dying too. All right, and we'll do DJ Giddens. I think my mouse just died. I literally can't tell. All right. Yeah, but the thing is, though, okay, if I put this guy 8 picks behind ADP, that means a fairly significant fade, but not a full fade or something like that. Sure, that could be marginally true, but again, then you have to start thinking about so really the answer is this. Hard ranks just really do not fit with a portfolio-based approach. Like you definitely, if you use my rankings, if you use the leg up ranks, if you use the ETR ranks, you simply should not draft off them, verbatim. It just doesn't, it doesn't work. You know, you have to apply a little bit of critical thinking and context to each of them. 8 picks in rounds 1 through 4 is saying you want 0%. 8 picks in rounds 10 plus is like 4 or 6% exposure. Maybe that's a better way. I'll say this. I will do a rankings update tomorrow, with Jacoby Myers moved down a little bit. Josh Downs moved up a little bit. And that ranking set will come with I'll do a little bit of an explanation on how I use them. Some of the guys I have way above ADP, some of the guys I have way below ADP, but that will be I will, you know what, and I will use this as a guideline. I will use a little bit of that thought process as a guideline. And I hope that's helpful. And as always, all right, we actually could take another quarterback. You know what? This is a team that was built for my good. Oh, Jackson Dart and Bo Nix together on the same team. I mean, is it going to get better than that? You got the white scrambling scrappy quarterbacks together on the same team. We're going to take Dart and actually probably a wide receiver. So we're going to take Dart and we are going to take Jalen Noel. All right, 3 more picks and then we're done. Nope. Not doing another draft after this one. I'm going to be done. After this one, is Pacheco full-blown Jover if the Chiefs take a running back in the first round? Yeah, probably yes. Very. I mean, he then just becomes, I guess, a handcuff running back because I don't think they'll cut him because he makes like no money. Ooh, Nix and Dart are both also verbs. You make a very good point, Pete Peterson. I like that. I like drafting players who are also verbs. All right. That was a little bit early on Jalen Noel. Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Jackson Dart, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Devin Neal, Trey Benson, DJ Giddens, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Jalen McMillan, Isaiah Bond, and Jalen Noel, Tucker Kraft, and Zach Ertz. I'll probably take one more tight end. This could be like a good Justice Hill team. This could be a good... there really are not a ton of late veteran running backs that I like. Like, who are late draftable? Estime is, I guess, a little bit draftable. Shipley is a little bit draftable. Jaleel, Keaton, Akers is a little bit... Man, I'll tell you what, Pepper Tony, this is actually one of the things I'm most annoyed about today, is that last year, when Taysom Hill would have been so needed and so obviously a great pick at tight end, he wasn't eligible. He was only eligible at quarterback. He tears every freaking ligament in his knee, and then my good friends at Underdog Fantasy decide to move him back. I mean, I wish I could. Not that I don't think the I don't know how many more teams would I have advanced last year with the 40 ball. We have a 3-5-7-2. You know what? We'll do Jordan James. We'll do the 3 rookie running backs, and we are gonna take Mason Taylor. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take Gesicki. I know he's fallen a little bit with T returning, but there we go. How many more teams would I have advanced last year with the 40 ball from Taysom? That is a good question. Would it have Would it have made a material difference? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, look, I actually don't even love Mike Gesicki in general, but this is quite a cheap price for him. And I see the neighborhood took Mason Taylor. That's why I couldn't take him. And BG Lakers 10 took Arroyo at 17.7. So this is definitely a friends and family draft. I mean, people, they are knowing the clicks. All right. Well, we are about done here. Good stream, folks. Thank you to Mr. Overzet for joining. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I got to play this for you guys.
The Davis Mattek YouTube channel is made possible by viewers like you. Every subscriber, memby, and super chat goes to ensuring Davis doesn't have to work at State Farm. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for keeping me out of State Farm for at least one more day. Estimate could have been nice. Well, I think one, I really don't trust Sean Payton at all. Yeah, we had to slap it up a little bit. Slap it up with Jordan James, slap it up with Mike Gesicki. Who's a good Oh, I mean, Nick Nash and Torrey Horton are the giga slap 20th round picks, obviously, as we know from the all slap draft last year. I want Estime to be a good pick. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Marcus Yarns. I actually do like him, but my concern with Mr. Yarns is I just don't want to have a ton of a guy who's a day 3 pick in this class. Some years, a guy with his profile as a day 3 pick can make teams, but the day 3 picks, Jordan James might be a day 3 pick, and everyone loves him. I assume everyone is off Nick Westbrook-Akine because he's been in the NFL for like a billion years, and has never been any good. I assume that's why. No, I would not agree with that actually at all, because a cumulative drafting format is just all about drafting the league winners. There's no room for any artistry. There's no room for like even stacking and shit like that. Doesn't matter. All that matters in a cumulative format is drafting Saquon Barkley. You know, that's it. Final pick, Elijah Moore. I took 2 rookies. Final team, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Jackson Dart, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Devin Neal, Trey Benson, DJ Giddens, Jordan James. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Jalen McMillan, Isaiah Bond, Jalen Noel, Tucker Kraft, Zach Ertz, and Mike Gesicki. All right, folks. There we go. We are done for today. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. Make sure to like the stream. If you're watching, make sure to press the subscribe button. It's right there. Subscribe. Consider joining. Come hang out with us in Discord. Be a member of the channel. Support us. And of course, number one most important thing, thank you very much for watching. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense